Well, how you doing, everyone? Josh the Collector Guy. Hope you all had an awesome week this week, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you did, wherever you went, hope you're able to find something awesome this week, ladies and gentlemen, or awesome things. And I hope you had an awesome week, everyone. Well, these are my finds for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of little different bits and pieces here. Went to the old flea market, found a couple of good things here. Old Tonka NASCAR and maybe Buddy L or Tonka truck there. We'll have a look at them in a second. A few other ones as well, Majorettes here and the Matchbox. Check them out a little bit later. Got some awesome stuff here off my mad mate. Got some of my beloved blue cards off him, some Redlines, a gold hot one, and even a car what's kind of been on my most wanted list for a little while now. Old Tom McEwen's very funny Corvette funny car. Absolutely awesome. We'll check that one out later. First up, we'll start off with these two here. Went to an antique shop and a collector's shop over the weekend. Found two cars at each, well, one car at each shop. I don't know what I was saying there. Old fire, I think, pretty sure it's fire chief police car. Very unusual concept sort of design looking car. I don't know what cars they've mashed together for this. It looks like a couple American cars maybe, or even English made cars. I'm not really too sure. Very unusual indeed. Very cool looking though. Fantasy cars back then looked a lot cooler in my opinion. Very nice indeed. And at the old antique shop, found this made of Macau Corvette. I'm pretty sure it'd be from around the 80s or something like that. I'm not sure what brand it is either, but it's in pretty good condition. I think it says MB Toy or something like that. I'm not really sure. Not too bad condition considering it's probably from the 80s, I would say. Very nice, a lumber Corvette, something very different to have in the collection. Don't have many pullback sort of cars. Went to the good old flea markets as well over the weekend. Picked up a few more Tonka sort of trucks and that, and a car. Oh, this one here, this one's pretty old. I think it's got made in Japan on it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the year of manufacture like the Hot Wheels do, or sort of you can, or when the casting was made or whatever. Very, of course I'm going to say it looks like a Monte Carlo stocker. It actually does. Very nice indeed. I love my NASCAR stuff. Really cool. Very big, weighty, chunky vehicle. Absolutely love it. Very cool. I believe it's a sort of a pullback sort of vehicle, and maybe that switch might have been used one day for it to let it rip or whatever. I'm not really too sure, but might have to do a little research on that. Very cool though. Very, very awesome looking vehicle. And got another one of these made in Japan tin toy things, or sandpit toys as I'd probably like to call it. Old fire truck, very cool indeed. Looks like an old monster truck or whatever, very tough looking. Got a little bit of rust on her, but what do you expect for a truck being this old? Unfortunately, it doesn't have the year on her either. Very cool though. Surprised the old plastic bit there ain't missing or anything like that, or broken, but she's in not too bad shape, I would say, considering her age. Probably around maybe the late 70s, early 80s. I'm kind of guessing maybe. But I'm sure there'd be people out there who know a lot more about it than I do. Now we get to the smaller stuff. The old Majorettes here. Grew up with Majorette when I was a kid. Actually, I kind of think it was the most dominant toy car I had as a kid, to be honest. This looks like maybe an old Ford LTD police car, or an old Chevy, of course. Of course, I've got to throw Chevy in there. I'm pretty sure how these cars work. You push it down and it makes like a police siren noise. I remember a couple of them as a kid. This one obviously doesn't work anymore, but I'm not even sure if it does do that. But still, very nice looking car. I love the military sort of stuff. Military police, very cool. The old flat green colour, very tough as. And surprisingly enough, this is a Chevy truck. I was very shocked at it, seeing that too. Very nice, well, very unusual looking truck for a Chevy truck. Maybe it's branded in another country. Maybe it's an Isuzu or something. It's branded a Chevrolet. I don't know. I'm really unsure, but very cool looking truck. Very unusual. Sporting the very famous number 3 from Dale Earnhardt, of course. Typical for a Chevrolet. That was very unusual. Very cool. And probably the greatest find from the flea market maybe has to be this little Holden Ute, old Matchbox Superfast one. Holden is a big car company here in Australia. I in fact do drive a Holden with some form of badge modifications to it, but I do like the Utes. I've always liked the sort of sports truck looking design of them. I remember as a kid I did like them, I had a big fascination with them. Well, probably not as a kid, probably when I was like early teens or whatever, but still very nice looking vehicle. I do like them. I know at the drag racing you see a couple of them with big engines and that, they look pretty tough and that. So of course that was something I had to get, being an Australian vehicle. So yeah, that was a cool find from the flea market. Now we'll get to the stuff off my man mate. Got some awesome blue cards here, some very early numbers as well. Old road roller, steamroller here. Know I've got one of these somewhere in one of my boxes. Had one as a kid, of course. Playing with the construction equipment and that. Absolutely loved it. The construction equipment was so popular when I was younger, especially when I was playing with it. So cool. Like my blue cards, and probably a lot of these might have been cut up as well. Seeing the little promotion on the back there. Like this one, XT3, very unusual sort of fantasy car, very low number 2, the 4th one in the series. Very faded card on the back, but I like seeing it like that. It just reminds me of how old it is. Absolutely cool as, and it's got its speed points thing in there as well. Like the purple, really nice looking car. And this was an absolute must off my man mate, the old Chevy Stocker sporting the sort of good wrench, or GM good wrench sort of tampos off Dale Earnhardt's NASCAR. It sort of got that theme to it, I reckon, and of course the big bad bow tie on the bonnet there. Absolutely love it. Such a tough as looking car. Old card art on the back there too. Very cool. Love seeing all them old things there. Very cool. That was a must off my man mate. Got old, I think this is a Ford Fairmont or something, but it kind of has a General Motors look to it, if you ask me. I know I'm biased. I'm always biased, aren't I? Very cool though. Very nice looking car. I have to admit, being a full-blown General Motors fan, it's a really nice looking car for a Ford. Very old NASCAR looking. Obviously that's what it's based on. So cool. Absolutely love it. Two old Redlines here. I believe this one's called the Hood, I think. Looking at the old crusty base here. Yep, the Hood. I believe that's magenta. Unfortunately, the little feature there, what covers the driver compartment, doesn't seem to work anymore. Still got it for a pretty good price off my man mate. Also, you gotta love the Redlines. They're just some of the best cars ever produced by Hot Wheels. An old peeping bomb here with the retractable headlights. Unfortunately, they're not the rare orange variation of the headlights. Very cool looking car, very futuristic, very aerodynamic as well. And born in the USA as far as I'm concerned, so very cool. Doesn't have Hong Kong in the base. Very nice. Now the last of the bunch probably has to be one of the greatest cars I have in my collection. Well, from the 80s era of Hot Wheels anyway. Very funny. Old Tom McEwen's funny car. Had to haggle a little bit with my man mate, but he was pretty good to me this week. He gave me an absolutely fantastic deal on this one, just like all the other cars as well. He always does. He's just the go-to guy for the vintage stuff. As you can see, old card art on the back there, the old crane truck. The crane bits always seem to be missing on that. And the old number 5 fire truck. Remember that as a kid, but much newer versions as well. 72 Hot Wheels, now what is it, around 200 and something for the year. It's amazing how it's progressed over the years. Love this car, being a Corvette guy, being a Chevy guy, absolutely love it, and being a vintage drag racing fan as well. It was absolutely a must-have. Love the old Mongoose and the Snake cars, even a lot of the cars from that era. They're just absolutely cool as how they progressed in the drag racing as well over the years. It's absolutely awesome. And yes, I will say it, love the card art. Very cool indeed. That was one of the greatest finds for the week, that one. Well, that's pretty much it for the week, ladies and gentlemen. That is my haul. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening to me blabber on a little bit about the hobby again, but I hope you did enjoy nevertheless, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. The usual guys and girls who always tune in. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much. And I'll say it again, thank you for whatever you do, everyone. I really do appreciate it. I always appreciate your support to my channel. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for the week, everyone. Hope you enjoyed yet again. And remember, as always, everyone, happy hunting. Keep the hobby strong. See you later, everyone. Have an awesome week.